Welcome back to Going Walkabout. We find ourselves in one of the northernmost countries of Africa, Tunisia. The country is home to the Sahara, camels, the beautiful blue waters of the Mediterranean, and friendly people. If you've been watching our videos, you'll know we did not plan on visiting Tunisia this year. Rather, we thought we would have 2 to 3 months in Italy and the other European countries. We were unaware of the Schengen laws, which state if you're from a non-Schengen country, you can only spend 90 days out of 180 days in Schengen territory. As we had already booked and paid for up to 80 days of Airbnbs going out to October, we had to make some quick plans to exit the European area so we didn't overstay our visit. As you can see by the map, both Tunisia and Turkey are non-Schengen, so those ended up being our new destinations for at least 2 months out of our 6 months plan. So, making lemons into lemonade, we got a flight to Tunisia to get back 10 more days we could spend in Europe later in the year. Crazy, right? With our travel problem solved, in this video we'll go over some background on Tunisia and fill you in on our 10-day stay, in which we were able to see some of the most amazing sights this country has to offer. First, a bit about Tunisia. Their currency is the dinar. There are about 3 dinars to the dollar. 98% of the country is Muslim. However, they have a Jewish community in Djerba of about 1,100 people that have been there for over 2,000 years, housing the oldest synagogue in Africa. They love beer, especially their own, Clichia, and they are rumored to drink more of it than any other North African Muslim country. Olives and olive oil are one of their biggest exports, and they have one of the oldest living olive trees in the world, clocking in at 2,500 years old and still producing olive oil every year. Among their other exports are spices and harissa, being top of the list. President HABIB Bourguiba made one of the biggest impacts on modern-day Tunisia. In his term as president from 1957 to 1987, he abolished French rule. Despite being a Muslim country, he established a secular government, which allowed him to recognize women's rights. Along with banning polygamy, women in Tunisia have virtually the same rights as men. We flew from Rome to Tunis main airport, which meant we would have to have a 2-hour car ride to our final destination in Monastir. The airport was very clean and modern, and there was an ATM right next to the baggage claim area. We got money right away, which ended up being a good move as we had to pay our taxi. The taxi stand was easy to find, and they told us up front what the ride would cost, so we knew what to expect. Driving through Tunis, which is the biggest city in Tunisia, I was floored by how modern it was. Soon left the city, and the remaining hour and a half was viewing endless rows of olive trees. I know what many of you may be thinking. Tunisia, desert, camels? I was delighted to see all the trees and all the green. Our drive was uneventful, thankfully, and we arrived safely at the Hilton Schengen in Monastir. The hotel had literally just opened a month prior. It was good to see that after COVID and a terrorist attack in 2015, which took 38 tourist lives, Tunisia was finally on the way back to generating economic stability. With only 10 days to see the whole country, we jumped right into sightseeing mode. Our first stop is where their favorite president, HABIB Bourguiba, was born and buried, Monastir. Monastir is home to the Mausoleum of HABIB Bourguiba. The grounds and the monument are well worth a morning out. You can view the interior as well, which houses some of the artifacts from Habib's term as president. While in Monastir, it is nice to climb around the fortress Ribat. Built in 796 AD, it is one of the most impressive examples of Arab fortress architecture in North Africa. It's worth a climb up to the top citadel because you'll be able to get a great view of the city from there. Moving into the city, you want to visit the Medina or shopping area. Look for the sign that says Hannibal and follow the alleyways. Simply watching daily life is great. The main areas have many porticos, so you can hide under them to get away from the sun. It is easy to spend a full day in Monastir, as the sights are beautiful and the people are so friendly. Our next site we knew would take a whole day, the Colosseum at El Jem. Only about an hour from Monastir, the Colosseum looms out of the landscape as you approach through the town of El Jem. As we approached the Colosseum, I made the mistake of catching the eye of the camel owner. Needless to say, I got taken for a ride.
I got it. No, not for me. I'm Antigua. Okay.
It's only about 12 dinar per person to enter the Colosseum, and you can walk wherever you want with no restrictions. Coming to you from El Jem, Tunisia, and this is the Colosseum in El Jem, which is every bit as beautiful as the Colosseum in Rome, and no people, which makes it wonderful. You could literally sit here and have lunch and enjoy the whole afternoon. Absolutely gorgeous when you can see this place, and everything's intact. So you can actually go downstairs to the Hypogeum. This actually was enough seating for 35,000 people. Rome is somewhere between, they think, 50 and 80,000. So exactly like the Colosseum in Rome, only without all the crowds. And you get a chance to really walk around and look at the beauty of the architecture. So let's have a longer look. The Colosseum has been used for more than gladiator battles over the years. It was the backdrop for the Monty Python's Life of Brian, as well as this wonderful Nike ad where the top soccer players of the day are pitted against a team of demons, with Eric Cantona scoring the winning goal, of course. So we're actually in the Hypogeum, which is the lower part of the Colosseum. So it's underneath the Colosseum floor. It's where they used to house the animals, and the gladiators would stay down here before they went up to fight. And you can't see this in Rome, and here you can see the whole thing. So we'll walk through the tunnel and have a look at this whole area, which is completely intact, and pretty amazing that this has withstood for the last 1,800 years. Yeah, a very long time. In more recent times, I mean like the 15th century, till more modern days in the 18th century, the underground areas were used by vendors as places to store their goods and conduct business. So there we have it, El Jem. We're at the top. It's rather windy, so everybody's dresses are flying up, and Kiwi's enjoying that greatly. So, as you can see, this has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1997, and incredible that so much of it is intact, and the original blocks and everything like that. Just behind me is original marble seating, which they don't have anymore in the Colosseum in Rome. It's all been stolen, probably put together other buildings. But what a glorious day out here, other than the bit of wind that's flying up everybody's dresses. It's pretty nice. A quick trip down the road, and we were able to view the museums at El Jem. We almost passed this one up, however our driver convinced us to have a look, and we're glad we did. You can view mosaics taken from homes built by the Romans in the El Jem area. The homes must have been beautiful, with all the floors having intricate mosaics. They also uncovered burial masks, which did not come into vogue until 2 AD. Then, of course, there are the headless statues that look so lifelike. The drive back was glorious, as they had gotten some much-needed rain, and the countryside was blanketed by fluffy white clouds and baby blue skies. The last site we were able to visit was the Medina in Sousse, Sousse being the larger city over Monastir, with an ancient walled city designated a World Heritage Site in 1988. The sprawling maze of ancient streets and alleyways is one of the most impressive medieval medinas in North Africa. The souks, which are small shop spaces, try saying that 10 times fast, are home to everything from shoes to shisha pipes, as well as cafes and backstreet artisans at work. People that live in the area, to which there are many, Buy their groceries here. The vegetable and fruit hall is noisy, but a fun distraction on a hot day. I only saw one store that resembled a grocery store. It was beautifully stocked and right in the middle of the walled city. And as you can guess, I did give in and buy a couple of Berber necklaces from a funny souk vendor. He said his name was Jamal, but people called him Chocolate. Then he said, "You like chocolate, don't you?" Couldn't help but have a giggle over that one. After 10 days in Northern Africa, we believe the country's finest attribute is their people. They speak 3 to 4 languages, they are friendly and genuine, and they have a great sense of humor. We have certainly enjoyed going walkabout in this country. Hope you're enjoying our travel vlogs. If you are, it would really help us out if you give us a thumbs up, or better yet, subscribe. We've got lots of great places to visit the rest of the year. Next stop, Mallorca.